Sabona everyone and welcome to this rainy Indian day. Rainy. Mr. Dlamini, it isn't raining outside right now. How will the people know? I will add in sound effects also. I am getting very good at this. I will add. Have you heard the latest song from you? It is from Mr. Khare Sensei. Have you heard that latest song where you have put raindrops in the background like that? I will put raindrops here also. Mr. Dlamini, but I thought this was supposed to be off the cuff, that we're not going to do any editing because we don't have time to do all this editing, and it's just going to be, you are right. I am sometimes just babbling, but let us carry on before everyone just listens to this nonsense and just shuts us off. They'll probably shut you off, and then they'll shut me off because they're not getting sick of me. I haven't done anything and said anything. Mr. Khare, please, Mr. Khare, let me just continue. Go ahead, Ms. Dlamini. The topic of today is pollution and the earth. How important is the environment to you? And that is the question we are going to ask. We are going to ask all our players of KFANDRA if they have the time to answer us, and we will be allowing you to listen to what they say in the middle or at the end of the show. And because first of all, I have to put this question to Khare Sensei and ask him what he thinks about this. How important is the environment to him? Let us ask him. But before that, we have to first underline what kind of pollution there is in our world today. There is a noise, there is air, there is water, there is litter, there is plastic, and this is all to do with the environment. So let us start with you, Khare Sensei, Mr. Khare Sensei, sir. Let us start with you. Please go ahead. Let me just start off by saying, I say this to all the players and whoever I'm talking to. If the topic goes on to pollution, I always show off. I say, hey, man, I've been doing this since childhood about not affecting the environment as so many normal people do. And how is that, Mr. Khare Sensei? Well, let me bring that to now, when I've become mature enough to understand what pollution is. A long time ago, my mum constantly was after me to get married. Just like every Indian single Indian family. Every time they say, did I say Indian single family? You did, but you corrected yourself. That is why I said nothing. Okay, thank you, Ms. Dlamini. I do tend to jumble up words, when I get excited about the topic, and pollution is a very exciting topic for me. Let me explain. Pollution affects my players. It affects my ability to breathe because of air pollution. You know what I'm saying? I'm an asthmatic. I have to tell you, I'm an asthmatic, and it happened because I have to tell you something else here, Ms. Dlamini. And what is that? Did you know, Mr. Dlamini, that if a lady has a baby, can men have a baby, Mr. Khare Sensei? I told you, Mr. Dlamini, my words get jumbled, so let me just say it again. When a lady has a baby, she can have it in 2 ways. We're getting to uncharted territory. Remember, Mr. Khare Sensei, we cannot edit this because I am going to, after recording, I am going to just send it. What is it we recorded from Spotify? I am just going to send it. So please be careful of what you say. Mr. Dlamini, have I ever said anything dodgy? You're asking me that question. Let me repeat it. Don't worry, Mr. Dlamini. That is not repeating, that is just clarifying what you're saying. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. Let me just say that, don't worry, I won't say anything dodgy, and I won't say anything that will harm KFANDRA. So let me just carry on. When a lady has a baby, she can have it in 2 ways. Either through the usual, normal way, which is very painful, I must add. I can't even understand how difficult it would be to get living something out of my stomach through a very small, Mister, we are talking about pollution, please. Alright, so it is, I am talking about pollution. All I'm trying to say is, for instance, why I've been so affected by pollution is because my mum had me through cesarean section, and that is when you cut up the stomach to take the baby out. So it seems, I wasn't able to ingest all the hormones and everything that comes when you're born the natural way, and therefore, as a young child, I had asthma. They've scientifically proven that. I will ask Dr. Khare, and I won't ask you, Mr. Khare Sensei. Well, you should ask him. We will take your word for him. We will take your word for it, and you carry on. Please explain what you're trying to explain it. So what I was saying was that that's why pollution. Really, I'm really worried about pollution because the few years I have on this world, I want it to be, clean. I mean, I do my best. You won't believe there's a story which I've written in my memoirs. When we came back from Swaziland, and my relatives picked us up in the car, and my aunt, she gave us oranges to eat. So both my brother and me, we were just sitting there after finishing the oranges, looking around in that old Fiat for a place to chuck, maybe an old plastic bag. Was there plastic before? Yes, of course there was. But old paper bag, something. We were both very shy, and we didn't know, so we're just holding it in our hands, and we're looking around, looking very sheepish. Carry on. And then, you know what happened? My aunt, she turned around and noticed, she asked us, what's your problem, what's going on? And we said, we don't know where to throw the orange pills, auntie. And, we didn't say auntie. I think we said Maushi. It was Maushi, my mum's sister. It was Maushi, and obviously my aunt didn't have a British accent, but you know what I'm trying to say. Mr. Dlamini, just carry on. I'm sure all the listeners, they now know. By the third or fourth episode, they know that you are crazy, man. You are crazy. So just please carry on, Mr. Khare Sensei. So what I was saying, so she just said, hey, don't worry about it. Just roll down the window and chuck the oranges out. And both me and my brother, we were stunned. I mean, now, I have a joke about it, and I just saw one of the players the other day. I had a joke, I've started this protein break and fruit break on the ground. How? Not you, eh? You might have accepted it, but I am sure fake Dr. Khare, he is the one who said that you are allowed to do this. Yeah, well, he said so. He's given the learned background information to me, but I have to allow it. Hey, Mr. Dlamini, that is true. You have to, this KFANDRA, we all work in tandem, eh? We all work in tandem so well. So let me carry on now. Mr. Dlamini, so we were dumbfounded. We say, how can we chuck something like this? How? You're talking about something out your players on the ground. And that's true, Mr. Dlamini. So what I was saying of the players on the ground, they started saying, all these fruits, all these, the shells, the egg shells and all. I saw, you know what, Mr. Dlamini, I saw them chucking it. One or two of them obviously asked me. They asked me about what we should do it, and I said, listen, this is not our ground. We haven't made a compost pit. Please pack it up and chuck it away in the bin where the food material waste, where the food waste can be sent properly by the government to this place of disposal. So where it can get converted to manure or whatever it is, so it can be reused. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Dlamini? I understand everything what you're saying. So please just go on. So, they didn't, I could see it in their eyes. They didn't believe me. I don't understand it. Just the other day while leaving, I just cracked it off as a joke. But as I was getting into the car, by the way, I do use the car sometimes, just because it's my mum's car, Mr. Dlamini, and I have to use it. If I don't use it, it'll just go to waste. So I just use it to keep it in shape. How? That is so considerate of you, eh? And all I'm saying, thank you. Siyabonga, as in your language you say, Mr. Dlamini, Siyabonga, how? It is very kind of you. What I was saying, so in front, he thought I wasn't looking, and he chucked the eggshells and away next to the car. I just laughed off. I just laughed it off. I just said, hey, I saw you there. I saw you there. I'm going to punish you. But I don't expect this from my players. I don't expect this from my players at all. I don't like punishing my players. All my players are adults. I'm not even going to name him right now. How? That is very considerate of you as well. So, what I'm trying to say here is, Mr. Dlamini, is why are people like this? You know, just by chucking a banana peel or an orange peel or an apple peel out on the road doesn't mean it's gonna decompose. It's gonna automatic. How I think you are really angry, and you don't want to be angry because you have told yourself. In fact, Dr. Khare has also told you not to be angry, be happy, like all the songs you have been writing. So I'm telling you, we will take a break for you, Mr. Khare. You please take a breath. You take a breath, and meanwhile we will show everyone, not show, let everyone listen to some of the players who have sent in their audio recording. We will do that now. And now, first up, to give us his views is Mukul Inamda, speaking in the language of his birth, Marathi.
नमस्कार. सर्वप्रथम मी कफॅन्ड्रा मीडिया डिपार्टमेंटचे आभार मानतो की त्यांनी मला या विषयावर बोलण्यासाठी आमंत्रण दिलं. मला त्यांनी प्रदूषण आणि पृथ्वी या विषयावर बोलायला सांगितलेलं आहे. माझ्यासाठी हा विषय अतिशय महत्त्वाचा आहे, कारण जर आपलं पर्यावरण चांगलं असेल तरच आपलं मानसिक आणि शारीरिक आरोग्य चांगलं राहू शकतं, आणि आपलं आरोग्य जर चांगलं असेल तरच आपण उत्तम जीवन जगू शकतो असं मला वाटतं. माझ्या जवळच्या पर्यावरणामध्ये मला पुढीलप्रमाणे प्रदूषणाचे प्रकार आढळतात. एक म्हणजे वायू प्रदूषण, जे मी शहरात राहत असल्यामुळे वाहनांमुळे आणि आसपासच्या उद्योगांमुळे निर्माण होतं. दुसरं म्हणजे ध्वनी प्रदूषण, तेही मुख्यत्वे करून वाहनांमुळेच निर्माण होतं. तिसरं म्हणजे जलप्रदूषण. जलप्रदूषण हे मला माझ्या घरात आणि आसपास जरी लगेच बघायला मिळत नसलं तरी थोडंसं घराबाहेर पडल्यावर सगळ्या नाल्यांमध्ये, ओढ्यांमध्ये आणि पुण्यातल्या नद्यांमध्ये बघायला मिळतं. आणि चौथं म्हणजे घनकचरा प्रदूषण, आणि सर्वत्र सध्या बांधकामाची कामं चालू असल्यामुळे पडलेला राडारोडा आणि प्लास्टिकचा होणारा अतिवापर ह्या स्वरूपात दिसून येतं. तर जर हे प्रदूषण टाळण्यासाठी मी काय करतो असं मला विचारण्यात आलेलं होतं, तर एक म्हणजे मी वातानुकूलित यंत्रणांचा अजिबातच वापर करत नाही. दुसरं म्हणजे जेव्हा जेव्हा शक्य असेल तेव्हा मी सार्वजनिक वाहतूक व्यवस्थेचा वापर करतो आणि स्वतःचं वाहन कमी वापरतो. तिसरं म्हणजे वाहन वापरताना मी हॉर्नचा वापर जितका कमी करता येईल तितका कमी करतो. बऱ्याचदा मी तो करतही नाही, कारण पुण्यात एवढी प्रचंड रहदारी असताना खरं तर हॉर्नचा वापर करायची वेळ खूप कमी येते. चौथं म्हणजे मी प्लास्टिकचा वापर जवळजवळ करतच नाही. तो कधीतरी पाऊस वगैरे असेल आणि काही जर जवळ महत्त्वाची कागदपत्रे वगैरे असतील तर त्यांचं संरक्षण करण्यासाठी कधीतरी करावा लागतो, पण शक्यतो मी तेही टाळतो. पुढचं म्हणजे घरातला जो कचरा असतो त्याचं वर्गीकरण करूनच त्याची विल्हेवाट लावावी यासाठी माझा सतत प्रयत्न असतो. आणि शेवटचं म्हणजे मी विजेचा कमीत कमी वापर घरात करता येईल याकडे लक्ष देतो. तर मी पुन्हा एकदा कफॅन्ड्रा मीडिया डिपार्टमेंटचे मला या विषयावर बोलण्यासाठी आमंत्रण दिल्याबद्दल आभार मानतो. धन्यवाद.
Up next is Ajay Sangvi.
Hello everyone, I'm Ajay Sangvi. Today we are talking about the most important topic that needs immediate action from all of us: our environment and how pollution affects it. Our planet is our home and it's crucial for us to take care of it. Clean air, fresh water and healthy soil are not just essential for us but for all living creatures. Modernization by us humans has led to the natural ecosystem getting disturbed. And we can see this when we hear cases of animals being found in densely populated human areas, or forest fires, unseasonal climatic changes, the icebergs melting in the Arctic, etc. The human race has woken up a little late, I feel, and now we are trying all we can to save our planet and ourselves. I try and contribute in my daily life to reduce pollution and help Earth by following a simple step of reduce, reuse, recycle. I always try to reduce waste by using reusable bags, bottles, and containers. Recycling helps keep plastic and other material from oceans and landfills. Another way I do is try and save energy. I make sure to turn off lights and shut devices when not in use and try to use energy efficient appliances in my daily life. The third thing I do is I try and use 100% biodegradable products and materials even in my workplace and in my daily life, and materials which are more environment friendly to us. Another way is to plant trees. Trees are vital for reviving the ecosystem. As we all know, these trees absorb carbon dioxide and provide oxygen, which is the most essential element for our race. I try to support tree planting events and maintain the green in my backyard. These are a few baby steps, but if we all take such baby steps, we will be able to protect our earth. Thank you so much.
I am sorry. I am very sorry, Khare Sensei, Mr. Khare Sensei. I'm very sorry, but we can't let you listen. We can't let you listen to your players and their comments. You can also you can listen to them when you hear the podcast. So I am telling you, Mr. Khare Sensei, are you calm down now? Are you cool? I'm cool. You know, I just when I went for my break just now, Mr. Dlamini, I just realized that I said quite a few dodgy things. I mean, even fake Dr. Curry, he was laughing at me outside. You know, he's just waiting outside the door. It seems I said hormones. I said hormones when a baby's born the proper way. I said improper way, that is, through the cesarean section. I said hormones when it's actually the bugs and critters, you know, which allow the baby to become strong, the immunity. I said hormones. Really, Mr. Lemmy, how? That is very funny. I did not notice that when you were talking. I did not notice that at all, but I noticed it. That's why I gave you a break. When you said, I think you said something about the compost. You said it wrong, Mr. Khare Sensei, but you can carry on now. What were you saying? So yeah, I was getting heads up about it, Mr. Dlamini, but all I'm saying is, you know, simple things I've been doing, and even in the past, can you believe in my childhood, Mr. Dlamini, in my childhood, I've only burst one firecracker. Even at that time in Swaziland, I remember, I just found this firecracker and I burst it, and the neighbors, they actually complained. Two old ladies, they actually complained. I mean, that was the only firecrackers I was going to burst, and after I burst it, those two ladies needn't have complained, because I was in a state of shock. I mean, you know, I was mimicking this warfare. I had these toy soldiers, and I planted them in between those toy soldiers, and after the explosion I saw all those toy soldiers go flying about everywhere, and I'm looking at the firecracker. My ears, Mr. Dlamini, my ears were buzzing, not buzzing in a good way, Mr. Dlamini. They were on fire, literally. How? On fire? Did you take some water? Not fire that way, Mr. I understand. It was just a joke, Mr. Khare Sensei. So all I'm saying, Mr. Dlamini, is even at that time, you know, I realized one thing. I said, what's the point of these firecrackers? I mean, what joy do people get from these firecrackers? I've never understood it. I don't understand it now. I've never understood it before. I mean, you keep seeing all these, you know, when you came to India in the 90s, 2000, 2010, I think they still do it now. All these shopkeepers, you know, these big shops, these small shops, they spend a lot of money on firecrackers, and then they compete with each other, saying that I burst more firecrackers than you. 10,000, 20,000. And I'm wondering, how pleasant can this be? Is it supposed to be pleasant? Don't they realize that the humans have taken over this planet, which was meant for animals? How you are really angry, and let us now shift. No, don't worry. Let me just finish off what I'm supposed to say. Let me finish off my bit, and then let everyone have a go, Mr. Dlamini. How you are right? That will be easier, and we can. Oh, you know, sometimes because I'm editing it, I might just suddenly put a clip here and put a clip there. Is that okay, Mr. Khare Sensei? Go ahead, Mr. Dlamini, go ahead. But you know, I'm really late for some work, and let me just complete what I'm trying to say. Yes, your view about the environment. You carry on, firecrackers. So all I want to say is they keep arguing that, you know, even the sparklers. Yeah, I've got nothing against sparklers. Or in Marathi they call it the full baji. They have that small sort of object, and from which these sparkling lights come up. Okay, fine. And then you have these lasered shows at night. You know, some countries, even India started that. That's all okay. That's light. Okay, just to a minimal effect. Okay, it's not harming the environment so much. Okay, fine. But then these firecrackers, and then on top of it all, gunpowder was not invented by India. Gunpowder came in from China, I think it was. What I'm trying to say is, if these people like firecrackers so much, then send them to the front line. They'll have a lot of firecrackers there, and they'll be real firecrackers. By the way, they're called bloody bullets and bombs. That's what I feel about it. And those guys in the army, they're fighting for our country, army, navy, whatever you may call it. You know, they're fighting for that. You think they like those bombs and whatever? Wouldn't they be happy to replace those guys bursting these firecrackers? That's how deeply I think about it, Mr. Dlamini. How? You are thinking very intensely and deeply, and I am not going to disturb you. You are on a flow. You are running smoothly. You please carry on, Mr. Khare Sensei. Thank you. So all I'm trying to say is, not only me, my brother as well, but he'll understand if I'm just saying me. You know, number one, I'm not married. I don't have kids. So that's pollution saved there. I've never used an AC. I mean, my mom had an AC installed in her room, but then she was old and she said, "Oh, I've lived my life. I want an AC for myself." And so she did rarely put it on because we were always complaining. But yeah, no ACs. I've always had cold showers for the past 10 years. Is it 10 years, Mr. Dlamini? How? That's why I think, knock on wood, knock on wood. Let me knock on wood. Let me hear this. I hope people heard that I was knocking on wood, and because Khare Sensei, I'm telling you, Mr. Khare Sensei, I'm not telling you, I'm telling the audience. Audience, you have to understand Mr. Khare Sensei, and once again I will knock on wood. Knock on wood is supposed to take away, even though nobody here is superstitious or believes in God, still this is just a habit we have inculcated from childhood. I am going to tell you that Mr. Khare Sensei has not fallen sick for the past 10 to 15 years. Isn't that right, Mr. Khare Sensei? That is true, and there's a number of things, you know. In fact, I think the last time I went to a doctor was when I had acute appendicitis and I was about to die in 2 or 3 hours, and that lady doctor saved me. I'm obviously not going to name names here because, you know, I have to take permission, you know, to name them, but that lady knows who she is, and the husband of that lady as well, they know who they are, and I'm always thankful to them. How? But that is another topic, maybe for your memoirs or maybe for some other podcast, but you carry on. So what I'm saying is, yeah, cold showers are brilliant. I mean, that's just brilliant. I've been having cold showers. I travel less. All I do is go to coach and then I come back. No, I mean, I travel like 20 kilometers. So wherever I coach, it's 10 kilometers away there and back. So I don't go anywhere else, you know. I don't go roaming about. I don't use the bike much. I don't use anything much. And then, can you believe it, Mr. Dlamini? How? You keep saying that. I will believe you now. So all I'm saying is, Mr. Dlamini, since I came to India in 1995, I haven't gone on a holiday. So that's saving fuel there, but then some people will say, Mr. Khare Sensei, some people will say that you are not helping the environment grow also by not paying. But that's a different case, isn't it, Mr. Dlamini? I'm just telling you how I'm protecting the environment. You are right. Please carry on. I'm sorry for interrupting. That's okay, Mr. Dlamini. So all I'm trying to say is another thing is about how I'm trying to protect the environment is the washing machine. Did people realize that the washing machine, you know, in the washing machine, when you put stuff in, you've got, even the basic washing machines, you've got 3 levels, first of all. there's a level in which you have less water and then a medium amount of water, and when the washing machine is the max amount, depends on how many clothes you wash. But at whatever level, Mr. Dlamini, how you are right, carry on. That whatever level, Mr. Dlamini, I didn't say anything for you to say I'm right, Mr. Dlamini. How? You know what I'm saying. I'm a bit confused now, but let me carry on. How? That is what I'm trying to tell you. You just carry on. So in this washing machine, there are 3 levels. When you're filling in less number of clothes, medium amount of clothes, and then if you're packing up the washing machine, most of the washing machines, even the basic washing machine, Mr. Dlamini, you have 3 levels where it washes on the first cycle. It expels the water, and then it takes in more water. That's the second cycle. Then it expels water again, and then it takes in water for the third cycle. I mean, that's not only is it scrubbing the clothes roof, and in which you'll have to buy new clothes in like 2-3 months, but it's using so much water. You know what I do, Mr. Dlamini? Now I am interested. What do you do, Mr. Khare Sensei? What do you do? You know what I do? All I do is I know how badly stained or how dirty these clothes are, Mr. Dlamini. So if they're not that dirty, all I do is I put, as soon as that spin cycle comes on, there's a spin cycle, Mr. Dlamini. Not many people know this, but there is a slight spin cycle after every cycle, even after the first cycle. So if the clothes are not too dirty, you know what I do, Mr. Dlamini? How? Just carry on. This story is exciting. I'm telling you, even if you're talking about washing machine, it is exciting. Yeah, so let me carry on, Mr. Dlamini. So, you know what I do, Mr. Dlamini? You have already asked, actually. Sorry. So, what I do is I just switch. I just turn the tap off. I turn the tap off, and then before it goes on to the second cycle, it's looking for the AI in the washing machine is looking for the water. So it waits for the water to come in for at least like 10 minutes, and then it beeps. It gives a warning beep saying there's no water, please fill it up. That's when I say, hey, I don't need the second cycle. I just put the washing machine out and take the clothes. They're beautiful. They're smelling lovely because I've obviously put in some soap. But as you know, the extent in which I take to save the environment, how many people can say that? Hey, Mr. Dlamini, how? You are something else, eh? You are something else. I am telling you, it is very interesting talking to you. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini, and I think that's all, is it, Mr. Dlamini? How? Isn't that me who is supposed to say that? Wait, I do have some more things to talk about, Mr. Dlamini, can I? How? Go ahead. So what I'm going to talk about is the people. I mean, you know, you go to houses, you go to homes here in India, and I've been to a lot. I've said that I don't go on holiday. I haven't. You know, I've travelled a lot. I've travelled a lot while playing football for the city, for the university. I've travelled a lot. But, you know, it's not on holiday. I've travelled, daily allowance, 20 rupees, you can only eat. I'm just digressing, but please read my memoirs. Once more about the memoirs, I will take this bamboo stick, Lati they call it in India, and I will beat you on the head with it. Mr. Dlamini, I know you're joking. You're right. I won't really do that, but you know what I mean. I know what you mean, Mr. Dlamini. So let me just carry on. All I'm trying to say is, why can't people be clean? Why can't people treat their country when they leave their main door, when they leave their house, whether you're living in a mansion, whether you're living in a small bungalow, whether you're living in a big bungalow, whether you're living in a flat, whether you're living in a big apartment complex, whether you're living in a chowpatty, when you leave your abode, when you leave your home, when you leave your house, why can't you keep everything clean? When you see a bin, chuck everything in the bin. Why? What gives you the freedom to just chuck? I mean, Mr. Dlamini, I've seen a Mercedes-Benz rolling down the road, and it's AC is going on full. I've been either driving a car behind, or I've been riding my bike, or walking. It's happened so many times, Mr. Dlamini, that window has been rolled down. The driver, or sometimes that lady or the bloke sitting in the back, they chuck out maybe a pan parag sachet, or they chuck out some tissue paper, or they just chuck something out the window and then roll it up again. What do they think? You know, and some people, you know, I was in the mall the other day. Well, Anaja, you are saying, Mr. Khare Sensei, just now you are saying that you are sitting at home. It's just what do you call that, Mr. Dlamini? It's just something I would say, but obviously, Mr. Dlamini, I haven't been in a mall for, I think, 5 years now. That is a long time ago. I suggest you maybe because your brain will go crazy, you will go cray, as they say. But you should at least travel a bit. I'm trying to, Mrs. Dlamini, I'm planning to go out with the lads once the number of players increases during the practice sessions. I'm planning to, but that's for another day. Let me just finish off by saying there's this incident in the mall when I'd gone there on 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, where this poor fellow, he was employed to sweep up the mall, and he was sweeping things up, and this person just came by and dropped, I don't know, he was drinking some coffee, he dropped that cup or whatever it is, had some food, and he just dropped the food on the tray on the floor, or the cup on the glass, I can't even remember right now, dropped it on the floor, and that fellow, the guy who was sweeping up didn't say anything. But I asked that fellow. I said, "What are you doing? Can't you see you're just?" And I know I don't do that. I'm a very short-tempered guy, Mr. Dlamini, and I don't go out of my way. But I felt sorry for that sweeper, and I just said, "This is not etiquette. I'm at a mall. Nobody's saying anything. Maybe I should say something." So I told that fellow. I said, "What are you doing? There's a bin just 5 yards away from you. Why can't you throw it in the bin?" He looked at me and he smirked. I hate it when people smirk. But then he smirked, Mr. Dlamini. How, carry on. He smirked at me. You know what he said, Mr. Dlamini? He said, "What the hell?" He said, "What the hell are those guys employed for?" And he's looking at that sweeper bloke. He said, if I don't drop the stuff on the floor, then what job will he have? And then he walked off. I was dumbfounded, Mr. Dlamini. You know what I did, Mr. Dlamini? I actually picked up that guy's trash and I put it in the bin. I shook my head at that sweeper. The sweeper shook his head at me, and we both went on our way. How, Mr. Khare Sensei, you are. This is considerate of you. That is good. I hope this world is not going to be a nice place to live in. And for me, it's okay. No, I don't have children. I'm worried about those people who have children who are going to live. They keep talking about the environment. What's happening, man? The icebergs are melting. There's rains all over the place. There's floods in places which never had floods. And then there's still some people who are saying there's nothing such as global warming. I mean, I can't understand this, Mr. Dlamini. It's just frustrating. How very frustrating indeed. And if people don't take their step right now, it is going to be horrible, eh? I'm telling you, everyone should just listen to that song which I wrote with the help of AI, obviously. That song, Now at the Earth. That's the only way I can see forward. Humanity should just cease to exist. That's the only way the Earth will survive. Or humanity should just leave this planet and allow it to grow. Because there's no other way. I can't see it stopping. You know what? There's something else I want to talk about, Dlamini. Yeah, boy. Carry on. I used to coach kids when I was 15 years ago. No, sorry. In the 2017, I stopped coaching kids. But the funny part was, I used to say, man, this population is going up so fast. There are some countries like Japan who need need more people. So they're trying to push the population to have more babies. While in India, they're still pushing the people to have more babies. And when I say that, man, you're supposed to control the population, people laughed at me, Mr. Dlamini, because I was coaching kids, and they asked me, don't you need kids to coach? Then if you say the population should be controlled, how will you coach kids? That's what they said. That is sort of true, Mr. Khare Sensei? That is true as well, and I knew it would never happen. All I'm trying to say is, I would have had to look for another job, Mr. Dlamini, but all I'm trying to say here is, population has to be, look at this, for example, look at this city. One left, right and center, they're just coming up with these 20 stories, 40 stories. Every year they keep talking about there not being enough water for the people, and that's for the number of people who are there in the city. Then they talk about expansion. expansion, about creating work for the people. But then if you're creating work not only for those people, but the outsiders will come in as well. This is never ending, Mr. Dlamini. And how come there's going to be enough water for the next 40-story building, for the next 20-story? Don't these people think? I'm telling you, Mr. Dlamini, I was just joking with the players the other day. I just said that these guys constructing the buildings, they'll just be saying, hey, we're going to look after your drainage system, we're going to look after the water, we're going to lead the pipes out just about to the point which is outside our jurisdiction. We're going to leave the pipes there, and now it's up to the government to look after whatever it is they have to look after. That's a joke, Mr. Dlamini. I mean, what's going on? What's going to happen? It's unending, Mr. Dlamini. And I think I'll leave you now. I think I've said enough. If you'll allow me, if I remember something, I'll come back, Mr. Dlamini. But yeah, let me just say, good luck, everyone, and all the best to all the other guys who are saying something here for this new podcast. And I'll go, Mr. Dlamini. Baba, Mr. Dlamini. Salagatle, Mr. Dlamini. Goodbye. Salagatle, Mr. Khare Sensei. And I am telling you, please go on a holiday. Have a good time. It is Sam. We have only one life here, so please, Salagatle, Mr. Khare Sensei. Then comes Raghavendra Bhatt.
Earth is very important. The environment is very important for me, and the way due to pollution and that impacting climate change, weather, I'm worried of what we are leaving for our future generation. My daughter is 5 years old, and I'm worried that when she becomes at an age where she starts understanding, she is going to be thinking, what is the gift that we are giving her? A polluted earth where living becomes tough. Would there be plants? Would the ecosystem be similar to what we are doing? So for our future generations, it's quite important and critical that we maintain and try and reduce pollution as much as possible. In my own way, the way I try to protect us. I typically try to share wherever I'm going. I try to share a vehicle so that I am not driving a single vehicle and try to reduce pollution. The second is using as much as biodegradable products, plastics, and supporting technologies and creating helping organizations who are into technologies that are coming into basically related to pollution saving and other things. Running recycling, looking at recycling and looking at recycling products. Use and throw, the whole use and throw mentality is something that I do not subscribe to. So I try to keep, and if there is any breakdown, I try to reuse it. So I have shirts that go back, shirts or any products that go back to almost 10-12 years. So in my small way, I ensure that I don't throw away products that easily. I try to fix it. I try to, if it's clothes, I try to sew it. If it's shoes, I try to fix it in a way so that at least I can get some more use out of it. So that's my own way. And additionally, I am into a lot of planting of trees. Though I have not done it at a large scale. What I'm trying to do is, in my native place where we have some land, I have started planting trees that will in a way help the future. So trees is one of the way. Pollution, waste. My main focus is waste, where in office also I'm constantly behind all my colleagues to not do random printing of papers and use rough papers for printing anything. We also, any one-sided prints are then cut into small diaries. So we use recycled paper for diaries. So the same printed paper is then cut into small pieces and are bound together in our office to be used as rough papers and diaries for people. So we don't go around buying new diaries. So this is few of my ways that I try to protect environment.
Mr. Dlamini, I'm back. I think I remember one more thing I have to tell you. Can I just quickly tell you? Go ahead. Go ahead. What I'm trying to say is, I've just said that I have cold showers and environmentally friendly. I also have cold showers that barely take a minute or two. This the way these people talk about water wastage and whatever. Why the hell do they need more than 3 minutes to have a bath? I mean, women, okay, ladies, girls, okay, fine, they deserve to be beautiful. But blokes, you just need to soap yourself. End of story. How? But Mr. Khare Sensei, can I tell you one thing? Go ahead, Mr. Dlamini. Is that why then you're having only 1 minute, 2 minute baths, you quickly soap and then it's all over and you're saving water? That is what you're saying? That's what I'm saying. Then is that why you don't have a girl, eh? You are not married, and that might be the reason why. Mrs. Dlamini, jokes aside, jokes apart, Mrs. Dlamini, how you are right, and we will believe you, and I will not say anything more, although something has come in my mind. I think something has come in your throat, Mr. Dlamini. Now I'll go. If I remember something, I'll quickly just come in. Hey, Mr. Dlamini, how you are right. I will start with the other ones, eh? All the best, Mr. Dlamini. How? Thank you. Siyabonga, siyabonga. And now it's Parsh Kothari.
This is Parsh Kothari Sharpie for KFANDRA Media. The question that KFANDRA Media has asked is, how important is the environment for you? My answer is, it is very, very important for me. Environment is something that I care about deeply. In fact, I live in Pune and I live in one corner of the city only because the environment here is very good. I live by the Pavna river. I'm surrounded by huge trees. I have a huge garden just beside my building, and I just love the fresh air here, and that's why I live like so far away from the city. What are the small things that I do for the environment is basically I try to work from home a lot. I will always avoid traveling. When it comes to electricity, I am a very stingy person. I will always switch off the lights here and there just to make sure that I'm not wasting more and more electricity, because I know how electricity is produced in India. It's basically burning coal and producing electricity, which is insanely harmful for the environment. When it comes to water, I try to save water, but of course there is a limit to how much I can save water. So there I lack a lot, but I want to save water wherever I can again. That's all. I think these are the small things that I do for the environment. I wish I could do more. Oh, I totally forgot about the waste. So I segregate my waste. It's a rule inside my society, so that helps me a lot, where I'm segregating the dry waste and the wet waste. How this helps is because the waste disposal is very easy and very environment friendly when it's done that way. So yeah, that is the things that I do for the environment.
Mr. Dlamini, I have something more to say, Mr. Dlamini. How, this is too much. That's because I keep giving you chances. You keep coming back, you keep thinking something and then you keep coming back. This is not right, and now you're probably going to say you haven't bought any clothes for the past 5-10 years and you're using the same ones and you keep using and you keep circulating. Why are you silent now? Mr. Khare Sensei, why are you silent? Well, actually, I was just going to say the same thing, that I've barely bought any clothes, keep wearing the same ones, the ones I'm coaching, the players. I mean, what I'm saying? How? That means my guess was right. I suggest, Mr. Khare Sensei, that you go and have a deep swig of water, a deep swig of water, and just relax, or just make your video, or just write some songs and get that teenager and young 20s person out of you, because I'm telling you, Mr. Khare Sensei, you are going slowly crazy. You know what, Mr. Dlamini? I was always been thinking that, how you said I was always been thinking, Mr. Dlamini, just let me finish. I've always been thinking that I'm going crazy, but maybe not slowly. Maybe I'm already a bit over cuckoo land. How? I guess you are supposed to get that swig of water. But before you go, please answer this one question. Go ahead, Mr. Dlamini, go ahead. What simple steps then can humans take to reduce pollution? Now you have told us what you are feeling. But what do you think humans can do? Just quick fire. Quick fire. I'll try and be as quick as possible. I've written a few notes, so let me read them for you. How? No notes. No. Just tell us what you feel. Okay, here I go. You see, the whole thing is earlier on, when the computers came into being, computers needed to be in a cool environment, and they needed an area which was dust free. That's how it was, Mr. Dlamini. But now, as there were advances in electronic science, I should say, now I am making up words, Mr. Dlamini, before you interrupt me. Stop giggling there, Mr. Dlamini. But I want everyone to understand it. Sometimes people, if people are like how I feel people are, and they don't necessarily understand all that scientific jargon, I'm just saying it as simple as can be. Computers now have made, there have been so many advances made in computers that they don't need the AC. They don't need the AC to keep the dust out. Oh, they've got their own fans to keep it cool. So why do all these office blocks have the entire office blocks? I know of office blocks from 2 floors, 1 floor, all the way up to 40 floors, which are entirely covered by a central AC. Can you just imagine, Mr. Dlamini, how much air, hot air, is being pushed back, not only outside in the environment, but the same air is circulated inside that office. Everyone falls sick. I mean, can't people increase their how? That's why you're studying, reading from your notes, because you're not always hesitating here and there, and that is why. But you get what I'm saying, Mr. Dlamini. Aren't humans supposed to be tough? I mean, they get into their car, they switch the AC on, they get out of their cars, and then, they feel the heat. They come out of their office block, which is fully AC, and then they feel the heat, and they go, oh no, I'm going to fall. You see, there's something else about core temperature we want to talk about, but that's for another day. You've asked me about pollution, and here we go. What else is there? Well, let me think. Obviously, you're supposed to use water less while washing your pots, washing your clothes, washing your utensils, and of course washing yourself. Don't sit in the shower or have a bath, fill that entire tub of imported water and then wash yourself in that same dirt which you've washed first time. It floats around in the water, and then you wash yourself with that same water, and then you go, oh my God, I'm dirty, and then you have a shower on top of that. I've never understood this, Mr. Dlamini. But I think it is very close to your heart, all this. So please, you go ahead. Please feel free to talk. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. And then the litter. I mean, if you just don't use the rest of the world as a garbage bin, right? You don't use it. It isn't. The rest of the world should be treated as your own house. Like if you're in your own house, tell me you're eating a banana, you've got that banana peel, or let's just say you're eating a chocolate as well. After the banana, you're holding a peel in your hand, and then you have you've eaten a chocolate and you have the wrapper in your hand as well. What do you do at home? Do you just look at the corner of your room and then just chuck it into the corner of your room, the banana peel and the wrapper? Or do you look for a bin inside your house, you know where it is, and then you chuck it in the bin? What do? Then why can't you treat the entire world outside of your house as your own house and look for a bin? Otherwise, if you can't find a bin, just go home and then throw it in your own bin. Simple basics, I'll tell you. I call it etiquette. I call it basic etiquette. And then when you go shopping, just don't go out, naked, literally naked, just with your clothes on. Just don't go out shopping and then buy stuff and then ask those shopkeepers to place them in plastic bags or in bags which you're never going to use again, which are not reusable. Just take a bag from home. How difficult is it? Oh, calm down. Please have a drink of water. No. This is the last time I'm going to come and interrupt you, Mr. Dlamini. I know you have to do your stuff. You have to, make it go public, and then all those other comments from the players. So yeah, it does get on my nerves. But let me carry on, Mr. Dlamini. How? Just carry on. Just carry on now. Quickly, go ahead before you blow your gasket. Yes, Mr. Dlamini. Yes. Or in your language. Excuse me, in your language, Miss Dlamini, yebo. Excuse me, yebo. And what about clothes? What about clothes? Mr. Khare Sensei, you tell us something about clothes. Well, about clothes, Mr. Dlamini, well, I was just gonna. That was my next point, actually. Like I said, I barely buy clothes. Only, sometimes after using the clothes, I use them as rags if they're not reusable. Otherwise, I send it off or I hand it over to some place in which they can remanufacture it into something which the world or poor people can use. I mean, you don't need to go buy clothes just because it's the in thing. You should buy clothes because it's a necessity, not because it's a fashion issue or something. Okay, another thing is that farmers should stop burning the harvest. The field post harvest, I should say. Obviously, they won't burn the harvest, but they shouldn't burn the fields post. I mean, the rest of the government should do something. The government should come in, stop complaining to the farmers, give the farmers some compensation, and make use. I mean, so many clever people out there in this world, far, far, far cleverer than me, have developed so many things which can be used. But that's another question. Mr. Dlamini, I understand you. If something like a substitute for fuel, if that, which is our next topic, by the way, a hint, if that is invented by someone, will it come public? What effect will that have on the world? And let me just finish now, Mr. Dlamini. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you now. Actually, I saw the topic, so I should be sorry. And I'll try and finish off as fast as possible. And then, yes, water is used in the construction because obviously in India you use cement, so you use water to build those buildings. All I'm trying to say is that so many learned people, intellectual people, clever people have discovered means and ways where they can reuse waste, plastic or thermocol or something, and make new bricks, and then it works in heat. Keeping in heat or letting out heat, it works better than concrete and doesn't use water or as much water as used for concrete. I mean, why can't you do something like that? Why can't you plan before so this is about pollution, Mr. Dlamini, and what I'm talking. People might argue, but this is pollution. Before building a big statue or building a flyover or building a metro, you work on educating the people to use those roads properly. You ask them to wait at the signal. You ask them not to park on a zebra crossing. All this would have saved the construction of a new flyover or a metro, because you don't need it. If the public is disciplined, you don't need all these things, and therefore so much of that pollution which was created on the construction of these buildings and flyovers and metros, I mean, all that would have been saved. It's as simple as that. Of course, coming to the end of all my points, and I'm not even sure I'm covering them all, but this time I am going to leave you, Mr. Dlamini. No problem, go ahead. Firecrackers, I do believe, should be banned. They should just be banned. End of story. Firecrackers, what do you call them? Gunpowder. The gunpowder should be used only in a war situation. Obviously, wars should be stopped everywhere, but that would really solve the pollution problem. Well, I'm telling you, gunpowder should only be allowed on the front line, and food should not be wasted. If you have got food to spare, please give it to animals. They'll make use of it, or use it for compost. Hey, let me just say goodbye now. Salagashle, Miss Dlamini. I'm going. I hope everyone enjoyed. How you don't worry about the audience. I will ask them, and you just sleep easy, Mr. Khare Sensei. Now I'm saying Salagashle, Mr. Khare Sensei, and I hope to see you for the next podcast. Yeah, goodbye, Miss Dlamini. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. And finally, it's Anupam Sawant.
Hello everyone, this is Anupam Sawant, and first of all I would like to thank KFANDRA and Sir for this audio opinion or Q&A on pollution and the earth. The first and a very important question is, how important is the environment to me? The answer is straightforward. Just like 99.99% of humans will say it's extremely important. Now the second question is far trickier than everyone thinks. What I am doing in my own special way to protect the environment. Most of us will think protecting the environment is a multi-billion project, but I believe it requires simple yet a disciplined habit to rehabilitate planet Earth. Our family in particular, vigilant about using water judiciously and avoid wasting it. We also avoid littering places around us, particularly plastic waste. We also store dry and wet waste separately and dispose it accordingly. I strongly believe that rather than spending billions to become multiplanetary, we can put small and constructive efforts into saving Earth from pollution. Thank you.
How, I have just received an email that one more player has sent in an audio recording. Let's hear from Vishal Jobanputra.
Hello everyone, my name is Vishal Jobanputra and I am a KFANDRA member. I would like to thank KFANDRA for giving us the opportunity to express our opinion on one of the most important issues that we face today, pollution and the earth. The first question is, how important is the environment to you? Well, the environment is extremely important to me. As far as my understanding goes, the environment is made up of sunlight, air, water and soil. Polluting any of these elements is detrimental to the existing and continuity of human survival. Our desire and greed to have everything is rising at a very rapid rate. This is directly proportional to how unnaturally everything is being made nowadays. Second question is, and what are you doing in your own special way to protect the environment? Well, firstly, I've started to reduce my dependency on plastic. I try very hard to procure organic vegetables and fruits wherever I can. I know it's more expensive, but we need to promote farmers who are going back to the old ways and trying to save the soil. I try to participate, or at least wherever I can and even on my own, to grow more trees. So at least these are the two things that I've started with. I think we all can do our bit to reuse more and recycle more. We need to leave a better world for the future generations. Thank you so much.
We have to thank the players for sending it in, sending all their audio recordings in. But it is such a pity that only 6 out of 20 members of KFANDRA bothered to send in their views on such an important topic, which is basically reflective of why the problem of pollution continues to be a problem and keeps increasing. Nobody gives a crap. When you think about it, I should be the least interested in this topic, as I have probably only a few years left to live on this planet. The thinking of most of the people of today is that somebody else can do the work because they are too busy feeding themselves and their families. My question here is, isn't everyone too busy with their own lives? Isn't it? Others are hoping scientists or some intelligent person will find a solution before time runs out. Maybe discover a substitute for oil and petrol, like dirt or plastic. But think about this for a moment. Do you people really think that this discovery would be made public? What chaos it would cause in today's economy, Lots of chaos. Some hope another planet would be found which is habitable, and someone would build cheap and easy transport to move there. Maybe someone would find a wormhole or build a teleportation device. Maybe that is it. And I will finally end it there. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation, a sometimes monologue with me and everyone else. The next series is a fun topic. I will be asking the KFANDRA players a question or two off the cuff. For example, the first question would be, what steps would you take if you became the Prime Minister of this country? The players can have a think about this one, but the others, they'll have to think without having time to prepare the other questions I'm meaning. Oh yes, and one more thing. KFANDRA has purchased an audio recording device to speak with the players in person. At least now, KFANDRA won't be disappointed with the players that fail to respond to requests. Please feel free to comment or email on this topic of the planet Earth and pollution. Till next time, people, Salagatle.